Hello there, welcome back to Elysium. When we left off, we had finally liberated our Greek territory in Europe, and today we're going to go kind of crazy and see how much of Europe we can conquer before the end of the game. I was saying we were going to attack Spain when we left off, but my truce ends with England within a year, so I think we're actually going to go for England instead. In order to complete our mission tree, we need a few things. We basically need to take a certain amount of provinces in every region. In Britain, we need 30 plus London. We already have London and around 10 provinces. So if we take 20 provinces in England, we'll have basically finished with them. For now, though, we're just going to move our armies into position. They're still stranded in the Ottoman territories after our conflict with them. And then we'll likely bring them all over to Britain in preparation. Britain does have some allies, but Austria's not really willing to help them right now. And those allies aren't going to do much when the fighting's going to be on the mainland. Although thinking about it, Spain is at war with France right now. That was why I wanted to jump them last time. Their allies, only one of them is willing to help as well. And I suppose Britain isn't going anywhere. I've changed my mind. We're going to go to war with Spain. As I said, it's not like Britain's going anywhere. Since this Spain was formed by Aragon, their capital is actually in Barcelona, as we can see. So we could just immediately land there. We might actually do that. We've landed and taken Barcelona. We're going to call up mercenaries there now to bulk out our boys. The last thing we'd want to do is be stack wiped here. Now let's see about taking this fort here. All of the Spanish forts are quite strong, they're all level 8, so it's going to take quite a while to siege them down, unfortunately. Let's actually build a spy network in Spain. We probably should have started that before we started the war, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Now we have an event to decide what to do with the Hagia Sophia. We could just destroy it. There's not really any benefit to doing that though, and it would make everyone hate us. It would give us 4,000 ducats though, but 4,000 ducats, who cares? We could give it back to the Christians, which would make our Greek pops a little more happy, but increase aggressive expansion with all Sunnis. To be fair, there aren't really that many Sunnis left in the world that are independent. There's 1, 2, I think that's it actually. There's 2 Sunni nations that are independent, unless one of these African ones are. Nope. Nah, maybe 3 Sunni nations that are independent. Actually 4, because there's this tiny Morocco. So I guess we'll give it back to the Christians. Doesn't really bother me if we make the Sunnis unhappy, and I'm sure our Greek pops will appreciate it. Our truce has expired with one of the last Native American tribes, so we'll declare war on them. I don't think we'll do anything, we'll just declare war and leave it to Spartania and the Vinlanders, as well as the other vassals in the Americas. They should make quick work of them. Ooh, looks like the revolution has come to France. I suppose their war with Spain was going bad enough that the revolution managed to take hold. That's interesting, I guess. What we're likely going to do is once we defeat Spain here, is we'll probably immediately declare war on France and begin conquering into their land as well. Alright, Spain is full occupied. We just need to nip across the sea to Africa and occupy them there. I'm wondering whether I should attack France right now instead. France has reformed their alliance with the Turks, but fighting war with the Turks would be beneficial for us because we're going to have a 10-year long truce. So if we fight them and potentially white peace them, we would really cut down on our truce timer. It's an if we white peace them, right? It could be quite difficult to grab a white peace with the Turks based on the current situation, as we would need to occupy a lot of territory, and I'm not sure I'm willing to invest the time to do so when I could much rather be expanding elsewhere in Europe. Naples, for example, here has no one to protect them. None of their allies are willing to protect them. Is there anyone else who's weak and vulnerable? Well, our truce is over with Britain, but we can attack them whenever, so I'm not in a rush. So yes, let's declare war on Naples. They would be a good foothold in Italy. We'll leave some troops behind in Spain to occupy the territory and make sure the Spanish don't come back and liberate it. Then we're going to take a bunch of soldiers over to Africa. We do need quite a bit of war score for the Spanish to peace out. If the Tuscans abandon them, that might also help. We do have to be wary though. If we make landings in Italy, the Tuscans are likely going to reinforce the Neapolitans, so that's something to be aware of. I'm actually keeping an eagle eye. Ooh, I think, yep, the Turks just abandoned the French. We're going to declare war with the Crush the Revolution CB, which lets us take land for 50% off. I don't really have my army in position to invade France right now. My army's kind of spread out all over the place, but surely it won't be a big deal. The French aren't actually that strong at the moment, only around 200,000 soldiers. We'll use our base in Spain to call up a bunch more mercenaries. A lot of these guys are going to take a while to hire because they're from the Americas, but since we've secured the region, it should be fine in the short term. Alright, the Tuscans have had enough. I'm actually surprised they stayed in this war as long as they did. They've lost a lot of people, but we'll see them off. The Spanish should surrender soon now. We can just go around blanket sieging them without much trouble now. The Neapolitans are almost full occupied. Once we take Naples, they should surrender, or at least they'll think about surrendering. Our invasion of France isn't going as fast as I might like, just because we need to get through a lot of forts, very high level ones. We're sending the billions of mercenaries to go do it. Is there a better use of their time and their lives? Probably not. We've devved enough to finish the green side of the tree, the promised land. Gives us some nice permanent modifiers. It actually gives us the option to just integrate any colonial nations we have in South America, though we don't really have many at the moment. We'll finish this. This lets us go down the red branch, which changes our ideas to be much more military focused. That plus 33% national manpower modifier is going to be very delicious, so we'll grab that. It also gives us access to a new CB, the Imperial Reconquest CB. Unfortunately, that CB isn't that useful at the moment. It does get upgraded as we progress down our tree, and we'll start using it instead of Imperialism because it does become better. For now though, we'll still be using Imperialism. We also gain the option to challenge the false emperor, which lets us just destroy the Holy Roman Empire. I'm not sure we're going to do it right now though. We're not in a rush to shatter the empire. The empire is only led by this one location minor, so it doesn't really matter to us. If the empire does become led by somebody big and strong, I'll consider shattering it. But until it does, I'd rather just leave it around. At least until we start expanding into it. Alright, the Neapolitans have surrendered. They're going to hand over their whole country. We're going to get quite a lot of antagonism, but at this point, do we really care? I mean, we care. It's going to be annoying if everyone starts forming coalitions against us. But it's not like we can really stop our advance. It's just something that needs to be done. So we'll just annex them. We'll then immediately release the Italian Exarchate to govern their territory on our behalf. They've got a nice red colour. We'll leave these armies here to garrison the territory, as the land is going to be pretty rebellious until our Exarchate manages to core it and convert it to a correct religion. We finally managed to break through those French forts, but looks like actually there's another one. They've really forted up the border here between them and Spain. There's a bunch of revolts going on in Spain currently. I'd like to leave them alone though, because they encourage the Spanish to make peace having revolts in their country. So we'll see if that doesn't push them over the line. One thing of note is that we can actually use the great projects within our Exarchates. So there is a benefit for us to upgrade them. Spain has finally surrendered. They've just decided that having their whole nation pretty much be occupied is actually a bad thing. So they're going to surrender. We're going to take this strip of land. It's going to lead to an even bigger coalition than the one we already have, but I'm not that bothered. We'll then hand out this land to a new Exarchate. As usual, they'll make better use of the land than we will. Now we'll continue the war with France. We're also working on improving relationships. Britain's in the coalition against us, which is annoying because we'd like to jump them. So at the very least, if we could get the coalition to disband or remove them, that would be perfect. Alright, we've beaten the French. I made a bit of an error. Because we declared a Crush the Revolution CB, we actually do have to demand the revolution is dismantled. So that's going to cost us 50 war score. I just forgot that it did that, but I suppose it's not that big of a deal. We do have quite a big coalition. I'm not really scared of the coalition attacking us. It's more that attacking into the coalition is annoying because you can't separate piece its members. So maybe not taking too much from France is the right way to do things. So we're just going to take their southern area and dismantle the revolution. This area had a lot of forts in, so it'd be nice to take it. It means those forts won't be able to cause trouble for us later. We'll of course release our Exarchate here as well. Francia. They nice and neatly fit in together with our Spanish Exarchate, so at the very least they'll be able to support each other. Now for our next move, our truce with the Ottomans ends in 4 years, so I think we're going to spend the 4 years just getting ready to fight them. They still have lots and lots of Roman land under their control, which we would like to take for ourselves, or liberate I should say. We're not actually going to decommission our mercenaries because none of them are out of manpower for the moment. So we're just going to leave them raised, and we're just going to transport all of them over to Greece in preparation for this conflict. Ooh, our truce just expired with Tuscany. They're not in the coalition against us just yet. They are in the HRE though. So if we attack them, because the Emperor is in the coalition will join. That's too bad. It would have been nice to take advantage of that, but I guess we'll leave them for now. Right, truce is up with the Otto friends. We'll attack them again. We won't make the mistake we made with the French of crushing the revolution. Instead, we'll just go for the normal imperialism CB. We'll call people in like we did last time that we went to war with them. Although we're not going to have Austria this time because they now hate us. I'm sure it'll be fine overall. We'll send in our mercenary swarms. We'll see if we can win this without calling in our actual armies. Let the mercenaries do the work since they've been hired. I didn't notice before, but I just noticed the Ottomans have actually vassalized Poland. How come I have a coalition against me, but the Ottomans don't? With their 1 million men and vassalizing Poland? If anyone deserves to be coalitioned, it's probably them. Ah well, who am I to tell the AI what it should and shouldn't do? France was just beaten up by Austria a bit, and they were forced to release Gascony. I think we'll attack them. They are defended by Maine. Maine is in the coalition against us. Is that a... I mean, it won't pull in the coalition, so who really cares? In fact, it might weaken the coalition. So we'll declare war. We'll use this bunch of mercenaries who I think got trapped here and I forgot about them. They can just occupy the territory. If we're lucky, the coalition will disband because there are less people in it, and we'll continue our war with the Turks. Our truce ends with Spain in about a year. The moment it ends, we're going to declare war on them, hopefully before they can join the coalition, if they do intend to join it. We'd really like to just keep expanding and not stop. Speaking of which, what do we want from the Turks? We want all of the Anatolian land we'll need. This should be enough land that we complete the Anatolian triumph, but there are other triumphs. We also need law land in the Balkans, but we need 55 provinces. We have 22 just based on the ones we currently have. I'd like to take the Egyptian land from the Turks though. We need 20 provinces in Egypt. Could we take that in this war? I think we could. I think we could take the 20 provinces we need, and then I guess we'll grab the Maghrebi provinces they control because we also need them. It's going to be a bit of war score, but we could achieve 2 of our triumphs in this one war. Alright, our truce is over with Spain. We're still at war with the Ottomans. Have I left enough troops here? Hopefully. Hopefully I've left enough troops here. They're going to call in Tuscany. They're actually guaranteed by the Ottomans, or Revolutionary Turks, as I should probably call them. Not sure why. Tuscany's in, but I doubt they'll provide much help. As mentioned before, we don't want to give Spain a chance to join the coalition against us. Even if they stack wiped and destroyed all of our armies here in Spain, it literally wouldn't be a big deal. We have billions of manpower and billions of money with which to replace any losses. We're going to make peace with the Ottomans right now. I did want to take Egypt as I mentioned, but I'm having trouble dividing my attention between the two theatres of here in the Ottomans and in Spain. So we're just going to peace out, take this land. The truce shouldn't be for too long because we're not taking too much. This will allow us to complete the triumph for Anatolia, and we can complete this mission in Alexius's footsteps, which allows us to decide the fate of the Turks. We can choose to either create a Anatolian exarchate to manage the Turkish territory, or we can choose to expel the Turks. The land will be given over to our Constantinople vassal, which it actually already has been. Turkish provinces in Anatolia will get Roman settlers, which increase their rate of conversion. And of course it will make Turks very unhappy, as well as Sunnis, but to make Greeks rather happy. As we've discussed though, there aren't really any Sunnis left in the world. One of the last Sunni nations became a vassal of the Ottomans, so now there's only 2. Actually 3, because Morocco still exists. So I guess we'll let the Constantinople vassal handle it. They were kind of already handling it anyway. And here's our triumph. So the triumphs are pretty great. They give us some nice buffs, but the real benefit is they reduce the war score cost of every province in the area that the triumph happens in by 20%. So as this is the triumph for Anatolia, the last few remaining provinces in Anatolia we don't control are going to be a lot cheaper to take. It's a pity that we don't really need to take it now because we've now completed the triumph and so no longer need to actually liberate the land in Anatolia any further, but it's still good to have. Our truce has ended with France as well. We're going to attack them immediately. They are going to call in Austria, who's quite strong at this point, although actually they're out of manpower. Hopefully we can take advantage of that. We should be able to full annex France in this war. Coalition against us just dissolved, which is exactly what I was hoping for. We're now going to declare war on Britain with our large-scale force here on Britain. You can see there's a few people left in the coalition. They're going to leave in a moment. Austria is currently at war with us, so they can't intervene in this war. Venice isn't really a big deal, and Congo, who cares? I'll ask Kilwa to deal with them. Hopefully our army here in Britain is strong enough. If not, we can always just create more. We have nothing if not manpower. Alright, we're going to make peace with Spain. It's been a rather long war, with a lot of people dead on both sides. But we're going to take nearly all of Spain. This should be enough land to trigger the triumph for Iberia. If I'm calculating, and by calculating I mean counting properly. So we'll take all of this. We do want to start taking their land in the Maghreb, but I guess, you know, we could go further. We could take Sicily, and we could take Sardinia and Corsica, which we need for Italy, and then we could take as many Maghrebi provinces as we can. We would need to keep fighting though, and the war's already dragged on a fair bit, so I'd prefer to make peace now. This should severely weaken Spain from them losing all of, or nearly all of their land in Iberia, and of course, yes, it will trigger the triumph, which is excellent. Now we just need to deal with Britain and the French. The French are pretty much already destroyed. We just need to go around occupying stuff. Britain's not doing too well either. We just need to bring our navy around so we can actually get across to Ireland. There's going to be a little bit of a cut here because I've accidentally paused my recording and then didn't restart it. But I think we just annexed France, so they're gone. We're going to deal with Britain now. We need to take enough provinces that we can complete this mission. So we need 20 British provinces, and then we can complete the Eagle Rises. It's important because completing the Eagle Rises buffs our Imperial Reconquest Casus Belli, reducing the cost of taking land by 25%, as well as reducing the aggressive expansion gain by 25%. So I'd like to start using that CB going forward. So let's see, that should be the 20 provinces we need in Britain. We're also going to take a few Maghrebi provinces, as that's something we also need to take, and I guess we'll just leave it there. We don't really, well, we can't really take any more. We could continue the war and take a lot more, but I want to declare war on the Ottoman. The truce with them ends in October, so I want to be in a good position to actually start fighting them when October rolls around. Before we do actually, let's just move our army. We're going to move a lot of our soldiers into position so that they become black flagged. That way they can just walk over to our territory in Greece and join the forces there. I think everyone's in position, just need this army to get into position. Yep, we're all ready. Make peace with Britain, take the land we discussed. We'll immediately release our Maghrebi nation here in Fez. Then we'll complete the mission, the Eagle Rises. Now all of our soldiers will move round to Greece, and then we'll just sit a bit, I guess, until it's time to attack the Ottomans. Right, there's the truce up. We're now ready to attack the Ottomans. All our armies are in position, I believe. I'm not seeing anyone absent. But instead of declaring war, we're actually going to leave things here, I think. We've made quite good progress, I think, in the last few years. We've completed 3 triumphs. In this war with the Ottomans, we should be able to take enough land to do the Egyptian triumph, and maybe one other one. When it comes to Italy, I think one good war against Tuscany would be enough. France, we're definitely going to need to fight Austria, but we're going to need to fight them anyway for the South German triumph. The Maghreb one can be done whenever we go to war next with Spain. And the Balkans, will get quite close to doing it, I think, in this war with the Ottomans as well. But if not, we can always just grab Hungary. So we might actually end up completing our mission tree before the end of the game. I guess we'll see. I can't quite remember what the final mission is, but we'll see how easy or hard it is to do. But either way, I'll thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.